you're between the age of 8 and around 15, 16, at some point you're going to get what is called a period. And your body has been preparing itself for these periods, which are monthly menstrual cycles, since you were about 3 months as a fetus in your mummy's tummy. Every single human is born because a woman has a period. And so it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be fearful of. It's nothing to hide away from, because whether they're a man or a woman or identify as anything else, they've all been born because somebody somewhere had a period. So let's talk about periods, and especially about Tamil traditions surrounding periods. I'm going to talk about a few of the things that I was introduced to when I first got my period. I was 13 years old. My mother also got hers when she was 13. My sister got hers when she was 13. My grandmother got hers when she was 13. But I have been told that prior to maybe my grandmother's generation, or in and around that time, people typically got their periods around the age of 15, 16 years old. And that could be because of pollution. It could be because of the change in our, the nutrients that our body absorbs, the food that we take in, everything's changed. But thankfully, there are some Tamil traditions that haven't changed. Now, when obviously, like most people, mine was unexpected as well. I didn't know what a period was, which is basically when you have a uterus, every month, your uterus will produce an egg, which will come down to the uterus and wait to be fertilized. And when an egg is fertilized, you get a baby. But if the egg is not fertilized, that means the uterus lining starts to shed, and that's what comes out as blood and tissue. And yes, some people find it uncomfortable, some people find it painful, but it doesn't have to be. And there are a lot of home remedies that Tamil traditional medicine has introduced to us, which is what I will be sharing with you today, which hopefully will help. So believe it or not, there was a point where I actually believed that I may be one of the few people, or maybe just by chance, I won't get my period. So when it did come, of course, it was a shock, even though I did know that it was going to happen to me too one day. So what Mum did was she first kept me in a room and told me to rest as much as possible. So this was so that my body could heal. It was a tender time. I know some people say you're becoming a woman, but you're actually not becoming a woman. Yes, your body is preparing for the eventual day that you could, if you wanted to, become a mother. But right now, when it starts, you are still very much a child by law, child mentally. You are a child, okay? Your body is just going through changes that are very natural, so don't get scared. So yes, Mum did keep me in a room. I was allowed to move about in the house and things like that. There are some traditions that say don't touch this, don't touch that, and that's because they didn't have the sanitary napkins and the sanitary things that we have today. They didn't have running water. They didn't have soap as we do today to keep things clean. So when a person, back in the day, when a child had her first period, they kept them isolated and asked them not to move and not to touch many things. It's not like that today. We've got bathrooms in our houses, we've got running water, we've got soap, we've got sanitary towels, and there's a whole load of other things that you can use to catch period blood, which we'll also talk about. Right. Now, the next thing I was given to do is to eat a lot of not so nice stuff, but stuff that honestly, I really believe has helped me. So one of the things that they make you do, I'll show you the first cute thing. This is my little egg holder called Henry. They make you eat raw eggs. Now, the raw egg is meant to strengthen your uterus. So Mum used to cut the top of a raw egg and literally just pour the raw egg into my mouth. She did this for about 2 weeks, I think, and I had aunties and other grandmas come and convince me every day to do this. It is not nice. You could drink it with milk or with orange juice if you prefer, but it's meant to strengthen your uterus, and I did it obligingly. The next thing I think is even worse than the raw egg, and that is sesame oil. Now, sesame oil, this sesame oil in particular, this brand, I'm not endorsing it, but this is the brand that I've always used, is actually untoasted sesame seeds, as opposed to what you find in the Chinese shop, which is toasted, and it's a darker color. Can you see? So this is the one that they use, and this also has a little bit of jaggery in it, so it's a little bit of sweet, but they would use the empty eggshell, pour the sesame oil into the empty eggshell and right down my throat, and then gave me a banana to swallow it with. So yes, it wasn't nice. The sesame oil is meant to clean your uterus and help keep your body cool, because at the time of your period, your body is creating a lot of heat. So I had a lot of food cooked with this. I also had, nowadays I make fresh homemade ghee, but ghee, and there's a recipe on my Instagram page, or you could email me if you wanted a recipe of this. This is ghee and food cooked in ghee. Ghee is great, sometimes called liquid gold. I also had milk with saffron. I'm going to try and show you this. Saffron is so expensive. Back in the day they would say, oh, if you had saffron your child's going to be fair in color, but that's not true. Your color is determined by your genetics. This saffron actually boosts your immune system, so you know that's very good as well. Milk products or almond milk with saffron is really nice. The other thing, everyone's going on about it, turmeric manju. So this, not only for consumption, but also I was asked to bathe in this. It works as an antiseptic, so you put a little bit in some water. You can put some rose water in it, you know, just make things nice for yourself. It is a difficult time, and you are going to have to live with it for, gosh, 40 years or so, 50 years maybe, I don't know. It does eventually stop when you're somewhere in your 50s, which I know seems a long, long time away, but it's a blessing, because it is because of this process that you may get the chance to bear a child one day, and that's exciting. And your body is fearfully and wonderfully made, and you are beautiful, and this is nothing, again I repeat, this is nothing to be ashamed of. So the manju, which is what it's called in Tamil, the turmeric, is something that you could eat with food. You could have golden milk, as it's called today, but it's actually just milk with turmeric in it, or you can use it to bathe, and that works as an antiseptic. And that was pretty much it. I was given a lot of food to eat. Kali, which is either made of urad dal or millets, ragi, really good stuff to strengthen your bones and strengthen your uterus. And why I'm sharing this with you today is because I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends, a lot of younger people that I know, people that could be my daughter's age, I guess, they all have, well, a lot of them have issues with their periods. Either they're not on time, they get really bad cramps, or they just don't know what's going on with their body. And I honestly do believe that having all of this that was passed down to me from generation to generation really did help in some way, because I've not had cramps in comparison to a lot of people that didn't do all of this. Yes, there have been people that have done this and still have suffered. It's not a foolproof technique to have, like, you know, smooth sailing periods every month. There's a lot of other things involved. There is also eating according to your period cycle, which I'll do another video on later. But for now, yes, I just wanted to encourage you that if mum comes to you and says, you know, eat this, eat kali, which is like a porridge-like thing, or take one of these, or you have to do this, don't fight it, because honestly, you will really not regret it. The 2 weeks that I thought I was in hell back when I was 13 have honestly been a lifesaver, and nearly 30 years on, and still reaping the benefits of not being in pain every month. Now, I'm not going to talk about products too much, but ever since I started using sanitary towels, which are pads, which I'll show you what they're like. These pads, they can either come like wrapped like this. You get those, we used to get these big dinosaur style ones back in the day, which you just stick to your underwear, and that will help capture all the blood. There are tampons, which are these stick-like things that you insert into your vagina. Not the most comfortable, and especially if you're bleeding for the first time, then it might not be the best option. There are also menstrual cups, which can again capture blood, and they're made of silicone, medical grade silicone, I've been told. I've never used both of them. I've never been comfortable with them, but I know a lot of women do benefit from them, so, you know, explore. And then there's this whole thing of, you know, your hymen breaking, you're losing your virginity. That is not true. I'm not going to dwell on that, but talk to a doctor. Talk to a medical doctor, someone accredited, someone who knows what they're talking about before you do any sort of, make any conclusions based on that, basically. So my recommendation, because it's what I use, is sanitary towels, and I started with a generic brand. You get a lot of them in the supermarkets, but again, I'm not endorsing this brand, but this brand, Naturicare, is what I've used for a good few years now. It's super expensive, but it is plastic-free, perfume-free, chlorine-free, vegan approved, and has an ethical award, and it's biodegradable as well. So this is why I use a product like this. You don't have to use this brand. There are other brands, and these pads also come in different sizes. If it's your first time and you're not bleeding too much, then you can get a tiny one, smaller one, and you know, they've got larger ones. I like the larger ones, especially for nights when you're rolling about and you just want to be a little bit more comfortable. You get the larger style sanitary towels. So make your decision based on what's best for you. Finally, I like to put my sanitary towels in a nice pretty purse. This used to be my best makeup bag, but I decided, you know what? I need to be kind to myself around this time. Sometimes you need chocolate, dark chocolate if you must. And it's nice to pamper yourself during this time. Sometimes your body feels crummy, you know, you're bleeding and it's not very nice often. It does have an impact on your emotional well-being. So be kind to yourself during those times. And if you are a boy or a man or a brother or a father or a son, I really do hope that you have been able to watch this video to understand a little bit of what's going on in that very special person's life, in your life, your loved one, because it is a special time. And I was one of the fortunate ones that all of this was explained to me in some way or the other when I was growing up, but I know a lot of people don't get it explained to. So I'm hoping that this video has helped a little bit. And if you do have any more questions, please do let me know. Comment below and I'll definitely respond to it. And thank you, and I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.